Okay, thank you for the introduction. Thank you for the opportunity to present our study here. We did a comparative study on Randstad and London. And I think this study will illustrate the point that Romain just made, comparing a rather big city, first-tier city, with an intermediate-sized city. The collaboration, the study is a collaboration between the Netherlands Environmental Assessment Agency, the Dutch Ministry of Infrastructure and the Environment, and the LSE cities. And the collaboration started about 18 months ago at a meeting for the Grand Paris plans. In Paris, there were a lot of architects presenting big architecture that should be a solution for metropolitan woes. But both the presentations from London and Randstad had another approach, a more analytical approach. And that's when we said, hey, let's work together and see what these metropolitan regions have in common, but also what the differences are. So these are the two regions. And of course, there are other regions in Europe as well. So we thought maybe, and that's a thing for the future, we can extend our collaboration with other metropolitan regions in Europe. Of course, the two regions have been compared before, but now we said we have to look at a higher level of analysis. So we didn't look at the Randstad cities or London or Greater London, but also at the hinterland, so the whole region of Southeast England and the Randstad and its hinterland. So if you look at Randstad at a glance, you see it's very patchy. There's not one single dominating city, and there's a green heart in the middle, an area of open space. And Southeast England, of course, as you will know, is dominated by the global city of London, and urban development is contained by a green belt. If you look at the urban structure more in depth, you see that in Southeast England there aren't much high densities with respect to where people live. The urban fabric is characterized by terraced housing with front and back gardens and by large urban parks. In the Randstad, the four largest cities do have some high densities in the center. These neighborhoods are characterized by apartment blocks, also by terraced housing. But surrounding these cities, there are large areas with suburban development. Southeast England has about 18 million inhabitants, with just under 8 million people living in the capital of London, while the Randstad has approximately 8 million residents, and the total population of the four Dutch city regions amounts to just over 4 million people. Regarding working place densities, you see a difference with the densities of housing. And here you see that London is truly a global city region with high densities in the center, and the densities of working places in the Randstad are much lower. The urban structure results in different mobility patterns as well. You can see that the Randstad is really polycentric region, and London has a big gravitational force, resulting in a monocentric structure. So, compared to London, the structure of the Randstad can be seen as a constellation of intermediate-sized cities. They are linked with each other, resulting in a polycentric region. This structure of the Randstad has some advantages. One of them is good access to metropolitan green, as is reflected in this figure. Another one is less traffic congestion. But of course, this structure has also some disadvantages, and the biggest one, of course, is the lack of economies of scale. Where London's economy is clearly seen as global, competing with, for instance, Tokyo and New York, the Randstad is competing on a lower level. Another disadvantage is the lack of critical mass for public transportation. In the Randstad is 14%, and in Southeast England is 26%. But in the Randstad this is compensated by a larger share of walking and cycling. And I think this is a very common photograph. Despite these differences in urban structure and agglomeration effects, the two regions share some challenges as well. Metropolitan regions all over the world are becoming important places to live, work, play, and exchange culture and information. But while these regions in many parts of the world are growing at an enormously high speed, in Europe there is the speed of growth is much lower. So in order to stay competitive, both Randstad and Southeast England have to create attractive places and provide a high quality of living and good accessibility. There's also a shared social agenda, where in the uncertain world of economic development after the financial crisis in 2008, spatial and economic inequalities are likely to become bigger. The riots in London are just a few months ago. Another challenge at the metro level is to deal with the region's metabolism, to create a sustainable input-output system of energy, food and waste. Last but not least, to cope with these challenges, an appropriate governance system is needed. While London has only recently discovered the significance of strong metropolitan governance, resulting in the first election of a mayor in 2000, regional cooperation is under threat again, with the abolishment of the regional development agencies. In the Randstad, the governance system is a fragmented and ever-changing collaborations of cities, regions and provinces. To conclude, responding to the changing context, we've realized that the legitimacy of planning will now depend on more than numbers. By presenting facts and figures on London and the Randstad, and by positioning them in the context of analysis and explorative thinking about what makes cities strong, we hope to inspire the debate on the future of the regional metropolises, hopefully resulting in regional narratives. We think that these tales about the region's future are vital for mobilizing action and creating metropolitan identities. Strategic plans to guide development over a medium to long term can be used as ways to visualize and discuss these narratives and provide a framework for local action. I hope you would like to read further on this, and you can use this link or a QR code to read the full report and have a look at all the facts and figures again. Thank you.